Hello to all you geeks and degenerates out there, and welcome back to our channel. And today, I have a question for you guys.
Huh?
Do you like synths?
Since?
Yeah, you like synths?
Yeah.
You like noir?
Nah, I'm scared to answer that.
You like noir?
Yes, I like noir.
You like questioning humanity?
Yes, I do.
I fumbled around my words when it came to humanity. But if you like those things, then you're gonna love Blade Runner 2049. This movie came out around 2017.
Yeah,
Am
came
I
out
correct?
2017.
Yeah, and it was such a big deal to sci-fi nerds out there, sci-fi geeks or whatever you want to call yourselves. Fucks. Sorry. Uh, it was such a big deal because we didn't get, as you said in the first Blade Runner video, we didn't get anything. We got nothing, any trace of Blade Runner content besides different endings for the film.
Yeah.
And not a single thing expanding on the lore or anything like that. God, I wish they expanded on the lore here than Star Wars, but alright. Um,
Oh yeah, this came at the same time as The Last Jedi. Interesting, which came out on
yeah,
top.
yeah. All of Star Wars fans is like, no, but yeah, we didn't get anything, and then there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and my God, that light looked like Ryan Gosling. Oh.
I mean, more specifically, it was him and Denis Villeneuve.
Oh hell yeah! I swear, this man, since he was also doing Dune, and we already did a video on Dune, and you pretty much heard my love from that video, and you'll hear a lot of it from here. This movie was so good. This movie was shot so nicely. The first opening shot was just a car coming into Los Angeles, and you see, finally, we get a zoomed out version of Los Angeles. A more high rendered 20, 30 years later Los Angeles from 2019 to 2049. And it looks so good. I don't know
Yeah,
what's up with Blade Runner not running after years.
and I like it makes sense, like, cause they got the cinematographer was Roger Deakins, I think, who did a lot of really good movies, like say, what's the name of Leo and the Bear one? The Revenant?
Sorry?
Yeah, yeah.
We have the bear one. Brother Bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Sicario. There we go.
Yeah, I could see that. Where it's just a long shot and you just hear the bass coming in and you just have an overwhelming thing where the environment is character of its own. And I love it.
Yeah,
They keep things that you kind of recognize from afar. You see the Atari sign, you see the Japanese lady with like the circle on her head. Um, and you see the neon lights everywhere, and it is beautiful.
and like
My God,
makes sense
I
that
love this film.
you give this to a director like Denis Villeneuve, because if it was anyone else, I feel like I don't know, maybe it won't be noir anymore. It'll be lighthearted, like
No, not lighthearted, but it'll be more action packed.
yeah,
Ryan Gosling will be shooting more androids than usual or
yeah.
people.
Directed
Um,
by Michael Bay. Like God, peace now.
yeah, and like an opening shot is like this farm. They do explain that it has been 30 years. Food has become scarce ever since this thing called the blackout happened, and uh, there are these new version androids. There's new version replicants that are actually hunting down. They're actually open about using a replicant to hunt down other replicants. And um, they're God, they're pretty much hunting down the Nexus Seven. Pretty much since Tyrell's already dead,
Yeah,
Wallace, well, played by Jared Leto, has been creating newer life, pretty much carrying on Tyrell's vision, and you could tell that like these people are horrible, especially with Tyrell, where they kind of want the robot uprising to happen because it is their kids.
Yeah.
But it I don't know. Is Jared Leto an android?
No, I think he's just blind.
Oh, okay. All right. No, because like his eyes start to glow like the usual replicant eyes. But yeah, I'm guessing it's just like the reflection from
Yeah.
cataract. I don't know.
Yeah, and then like it makes sense that he has something to help him see or use his senses. And it is 2049 for fuck's sake in the Blade Runner universe. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what 2049 is gonna look here, so we can help.
God hope it's a nicer environment, but it kind of looks like Blade Runner. I would love to have it. But yeah. So opening scene is us getting to see Bautista,
Yeah,
Dave Bautista, and
it's so trippy seeing him in a
a serious role.
Yeah, a Denis Villeneuve movie, more or less a Blade Runner movie. Because you're like, again, I grew up with like, I like watching wrestling. He's my favorite, and now it was Guardians, and now this. You're like, God, he can act. Holy shit!
God, dude, this is the first time I ever saw because I don't count Drax. Drax is too much of an idiot. That like, oh, Drax kind of like lacks character because
And
that is his character.
He's part of an ensemble, so he doesn't really get to stand out.
Yeah, exactly. And they kind of took away his main purpose, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But we get to see Bautista, and he does an amazing job, even though for a little time that we have with him here, he does an amazing job. And I love the slow opening. I mean, this movie is the epitome of slow, but like the slow opening was amazing because Ryan Gosling comes into his farm. We're all eating worms now, and you bit by bit, Ryan Gosling starts to dissect uh, Dave Bautista's character. I forgot his name. That he was actually a medic off world, and usually when you say you're off world, you're pretty much an android
Yeah.
because no one can survive out off world. But he is Nexus 7, so they do have longer lives. Nexus 8, Nexus 7. Correct me if I'm wrong. And bit by bit, you can see like, oh, sorry, I'm a Blade Runner. You know what this means. If you turn yourself in, it'll be easier. I was like, all right, man. He puts down his glasses and pretty much attack Ryan Gosling. And this scene was so good because now we get to see what androids are capable of. Like, sure, we got a little bit of it in the original Blade Runner where Leon would punch a hole in this armored car. But here you see Dave Bautista just relentlessly smashing Ryan Gosling's head against a wall repeatedly until it broke. And I was like, well, it's made out of drywall, but still it hurts.
Yeah. But you see that K can handle himself because he crushes Batista's throat in the process.
Yeah, and we get to see that, hey, what does an android going after an android looks like, and these people are capable of taking you out just like that. If you were a regular person, if you were K and you weren't an android, you would have been painted on Batista's wall. And I'm like, oh god, I don't know why I'm having a hard time saying his name.
Batista?
Yeah, it's a Filipino last name for fuck's sake.
I just used to the Bautista and Batista.
Yeah, I would say so. But this is where we find out that he starts to spew about a miracle. Because we find out that, yeah, Ryan Gosling is an android. Right off the bat, he is an android. There is no second guessing it, or is there speculation that Ryan Gosling's an android or Kay's an android? Kay is an android. And Batista pretty much relates to him like, hey, there is a miracle out there that we could be more than just obeying these shitty people. Like you're pretty much blinded by your own orders that you don't see that there is a miracle out there. And of course we're like, what the hell is he talking about? And we're on this journey with, of course, he shoots him down. we're on this journey with Kay, trying to figure out what the hell is this miracle that he's talking about.
Yeah.
And I would say it is. This is one of the longest child hunts
Yeah, that's the crux of
were
it.
ever filmed.
It's Kay hunting down who this child is and trying to figure out her origins or his origins. At one point, he
Mhm.
thinks, "Oh, it must be me," and then it gets quickly shot down later on.
No, don't. We'll get there. We'll get
Yeah.
there. There's build up to it.
And then, what's the name of Jared Leto's character?
Wallace.
Wallace is hunting the child down too because it propels technology and humanity. Because he's like, with these androids, we only discovered 9 planets. That's so lackluster. Because only even a child can count to 9 on his fingers. I want to discover more, propel humanity to the future. He's a megalomaniac, and you're like, for once, Jared Leto, it's weird, but not in the overtop way.
Yeah, I would say Jared Leto here. I wish we got to see him. Like I want to see this big corporation baddie, uh, have more dialogue than he did here. I gotta say what you will about Jared Leto. Sure, dude's weird. Shouldn't do the things that he does.
I don't.
But yeah, but when the role is kind of made for him, it kind of works.
Yeah.
And I say he played Wallace pretty well here. I really hope I'm getting. Is it Wallace?
It is Wallace. I'm remembering it.
Yeah, it is Wallace.
And then you build up his case world and what Blade Runner is right now, and you see that it still feels the same, even though it's glossier. Like you still see the same signs, like Atari's still alive. Okay.
Yes. Oh, so it's a not so darkest timeline.
And Robin Wright is his commanding officer, and she's a human. And you find out.
Lieutenant Joshi.
Yeah. And they're like, we have to discover how this child was made, and they have to keep it under wraps because this breaks the world. Because if you tell the people, hey, the androids, the people you thought were not like you, actually are more like you than you'll ever know.
And can I just say something about Ryan Gosling? Say what you will, man doesn't have a lot of facial expressions. But man doesn't work for him being an android. Seriously, he'll be talking to Batista and like just have straight up dialogue. And then immediately, as soon as he gets into his precinct, and there are, of course, horrible coworkers who are like fucking what do you call it? Oh, what do you call them again? Skin jobs. Yeah, fucking skin jobs. He would immediately like shut down. The social cues would like not hit him. Man will act like a robot, and he does it so well. I was like, what? I don't know how Ryan Gosling does it, but he does sell the fact that he's an obeying replicant.
Yeah. I always like Ryan Gosling, and like, sure, it's
I love Ryan Gosling.
most complicated facial emotions, but when he does emote, you feel it. You're like, oh, damn. Especially later on, you're like, oh, poor guy.
Dude, that's the entire movie. It's just poor guy.
Honestly, though,
God.
this movie made me fall in love with Ana de Armas. Because that's my first movie with her.
Same here. This is probably my first time seeing Ana de Armas doing her thing. And I was like, damn, I want a wife like that. Like, even if it is hologram, I will take it. Like, that's enough for me.
Like, it's enough to distract you from your crappy dinner. Like, I made steak, even though it's like, just whatever.
Worms.
Yeah.
It was worms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a fascinating question. Like, you say these people aren't humans, yet they're more compassionate, and one, they can give life. They can give birth.
Yeah. So it's so complex. Yes, that is the biggest narrative of this movie. It's like an android and another android made a human, or sorry, made another android by just doing the business. And I think doing the business means taking shit. Doing the sex. Yeah. That is the biggest narrative, but I feel like it gets overpowered by Ryan Gosling trying his best to be human. Like, not I'm not insulting him like as an actor. No, his character, him having a holographic wife, trying to prepare fake dinner, um, smoking. He's that typical like Joe, which is a reference later of like, oh, happy wife, happy husband, smokes a cigarette in the living room, kind of be couple. And you can see that like this is so far fetched to what real couples are now, but this is their kind of way of like, I want to be human.
Yeah.
It is a very complex scene when he gets into his apartment, and I love it. And he gets the thing where he'd actually make her portable now, instead of having this contraption in the room that would just track her.
Yeah.
And they would have this beautiful moment in the rain, and it was like, oh, so good.
And he gets interrupted by Robin Wright. She's like, oh, right.
You get cock blocked by your boss.
Yeah. And then you find out eventually that he has this memory of when he was a kid. Was it implanted? It was someone else's, right?
I'm sorry.
The memory of him hiding the horse wooden toy.
Oh, it was real memories.
It's a real memory.
Like, because a lot of times replicants would have fake memories. They not replaced memories, fake. Like these never happen.
Yeah.
But I don't. They don't expand on how he got them, but they did implant these memories, and these are real memories of a kid having a horse, a toy horse, and yeah, when he first got those flashbacks, it's a feeling. I think they mentioned this in later on, where memories aren't detailed; they're messy. It's through feeling that you get them, like you get these memories.
But it's not his, it's him reliving someone else's.
Yeah, well, that was the biggest plot twist. But like in the middle of the movie, we think that like, oh shit, he's the kid, he's the miracle,
Yeah.
and they would give this false weight to situations with Batista. Batista conceived this kid. He was the doctor that got him out, well, as we would think, and he's the one who pretty much took him down. Like Ryan Gosling, thinking he's the baby, he took the guy who brought him into this world down, and we feel this kind of weight on Ryan Gosling's shoulders, where like he starts to investigate. Like, holy shit, how many people are connected to the birth of an android? Like it is like the Jesus Christ of future.
And you see how
Jesus
desperate,
Christ.
what's the name of Jared Leto again?
Wallace.
Wallace is to get information on his child because he sends his henchmen to get some bones, and hopefully that does the job. And she takes out a polka dot man in the most brutal way by just severing his spinal cord.
Dude. No, yeah, that shit was brutal. That Russian dude from Ant-Man, I feel bad.
Yeah. The guy
sorry, I
from
forgot your
everywhere.
name.
Dave.
Yeah, the guy from everywhere.
Dave.
Yeah, his name was Kogo. Yeah, the guy from everywhere.
Not
Excuse
everything
me.
everywhere at once. We're saying he's in a lot of shit. He's in Dune. He's in the Dark Knight. He's in Ant-Man. He's in the Suicide Squad. He's in a lot of things.
Oh yeah, he's Polka Dot Man. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pokemon Man.
Polka Dot. Shut the fuck up.
Had a really good introduction to what the team can do, what Polka Dot Man can do.
Pokemon.
Shut up,
Pokemon.
Pokemon Man.
Sorry, I can't.
No, but like it is a little bit of a heartbreaking scene to see, because Ryan Gosling finds a medical suitcase, or a military suitcase underneath a dead tree where Batista lived, and of course, Lieutenant Joshi was like, "You got to get rid of everything, because once people find out that androids can procreate, it would create such a power struggle that we might not win."
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
the motor or the PC you have can give birth and is sentient and gives life. Like, huh?
Yeah,
Explain.
and y'all know that like I can't pop up Google in my head, so we're gonna lose this battle.
Yeah.
But But yeah, like she sends him out to pretty much dispose of the evidence, take out everything, and we see the grave in the box and the bones that came out of it. And it is heartbreaking that we get to see the memories of of the bones,
Yeah.
and we find out it's Rachel. And I was like, oh fuck! I was like, oh shit,
Shit.
because like the thing that like confirmed that it was this model, it was that there was records of Deckard's interview, his first interview with her, and that's what that broke my heart. I was like,
Yeah.
damn, Rachel didn't make it to childbirth, but I get it. It's probably hard for an android since it was like the first time that an android gave birth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we also get the scene of, again, wanting to be human, that same Anna there was this character. She wants to be real
Joy.
for Joy, wants to be real for Kay.
Yeah.
So she gets Mackenzie Grace to essentially be a physical form of her, and she can sync with her, and then they can have the sex. And
Yeah, like again, they're like the future is so bleak now. Like, yes, you could have a holographic wife, but you can't really touch her. So you're supported by fires and hooker, so she could do the sex with you. It is a beautiful kind of scene, to a visual effects standpoint,
Yeah.
like an art standpoint. I was like, damn, it's so trippy. At the same time, kind of like, damn, that's kind of hard not to watch.
yeah.
Like,
and she also tracks him. That's why they find him later on.
oh yeah, she puts a bug in him.
Uh,
And yeah, and bit by bit we find like Kay unraveling this, like, who is this baby Jesus of the future? Who is this miracle child? And he's unlocking more memories. He finds this toy that was supposed to be like a manufactured memory that's not supposed to exist, and he's fully aware that like these memories don't exist, but it makes me human or obey better that I have these memories. But he finds something that is actually real, that's actually part of his memories when he was a child, and that shakes him. He's like, holy shit, the horse exists, and I gotta bring it back to base and shit. And he pretty much lies to his boss about like, I took care of the child. Child's gone. He thought he was a replicant. Just took him out like that. And we do get this weird flirty scene from multiple people. I mean, I get it. It's Ryan Gosling. Like, Love was hitting on him, obviously.
yeah.
Where she was like, oh, when you ask about personal questions about a person, it usually means attraction. Do you like your job? I was like, damn, straight to the point. Okay.
Right.
And especially with his boss, with Lieutenant Joshi, she would pretty much try to sway him. Like, what would happen if I finish this bottle? And, and it's so funny because like Joy would like make the sound, and like, oh, you don't like real girls, and pretty much cock block him the entire way. But it is his wife or girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah. And he has to go back to where they make the memories. Like, is this really mine? Or is this just made up? It's like,
Yeah.
then he goes to this lab with this girl who's hidden behind glass because she has a compromised immune system. So she can't go out, but she has this setup where she can create environments. Like, she creates a rainforest, and God knows when was the last rainforest in this world. So it makes her happy. And
Dude, they would say like, I've never seen a tree before, or they never seen a dog before. Like, every time there's an animal nearby, they'll be like, is that real?
yeah,
Like, you know how messed up this world is, that it kind of almost dried out of life.
right.
Yeah.
And then she tests the memory. It's like, oh, it is real, but it's not yours.
Yeah.
Like, God.
Oh, no. She didn't say that. She was like, these are real memories. These memories have happened, but she's steering them.
Yeah.
And you see Kay like, fuck, I am the child. Like, that's why he has this whole, God damn it!
God. Damn
Because Now he is the problem. He
Yeah.
has to run. He can't stay long because they would eventually find out that hey, I'm the kid. And I do love this like scene where Love, the android assistant of Wallace, would pretty much track um Ryan Gosling, Kay everywhere. Like Kay would be like dying from a near explosion that she caused, and she was like, "Come on, get up, do your job."
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like,
We went over that scene where Kay just takes out a shit ton of people. The first person he takes out, he just
he
pulls out
pretty
his-
much snaps his spine. I was like, "Oh my god, this is what I wanted to see." Actually, like this is what I expected Deckard to be, but I'm kind of happy we didn't get it because I do like the vulnerability of Deckard. And then we
he double taps everyone because it's 2 shots to the head every time. Like, all right.
I don't know. I think he shot people in the like. He specifically shot them like at shoulder, leg, and shoulder again. Like you hear 3 shots go off, and you see them like holding on to like shoulder and the leg. So he's that accurate. He didn't. He wasn't there to kill.
I mean,
He
yeah,
was
but
there to
then
invest.
later on when he's with Harrison Ford.
Oh yeah, where he just John Wicks people. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
God damn. Well, yeah, he is an android.
Yeah, and he's summoned back to base, and he's way off his baseline, and Jossie's like, "What's happening? Why are you like this? Like, what's the technical issue? I'm the technical issue."
Yeah. But of course, he lies to her face and just says, "I found the kid, and I disposed of it." And I'm guessing Joshi was like, "Oh, okay, I get it. You killed baby Jesus. You know, you're for sure you're gonna be messed up. But tomorrow, I can only do so much. The baseline test is all up to you."
Yeah,
But for Kay, that's an immediate sign saying, "Run."
yeah, and then Joy tells him like, "Hey, I want to be with you, so uninstall this thing on the wall, and I'll be in your USB stick apparently, holographic USB stick." Was like, "But if I do that, anything happens to this, you're gone." I'm like, foreshadowing. Isn't that a bitch?
Yeah. No, but it is such a sweet moment because like she does say like, "If anything happens to this, you're gone." And it's like, yeah, just like a real girl. And I was like, ah! I was like, damn! And you could see the desperation
Yeah.
of like Ana de Armas when she had like that whole little scene with like, you know, hiring the hooker to, you know, to be her somewhat conduit to have sex with the Ryan Gosling.
They're right.
The Ryan Gosling. Or be the medium, or what you call it.
And then they eventually make it out to
Las Vegas.
And who do you meet in Las Vegas? Rick Deckard.
Dude, seeing Las Vegas was so cool. I don't know what happened in Las Vegas that they said like an immediate spike of radiation.
Yeah, like I don't know if Las Vegas is set upon a reactor. Someone tell me. Someone tell us.
Yeah, or was there a bomb that went off and we don't know, but all we know that it happened in the blackout.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, they expanded on the blackout. The blackout pretty much wiped every data after 2020. Like there's this huge.
Oh, and like how 2020 almost wiped us out.
I'm like wait a minute. Here we go again with Blade Runner being ahead of its time. Yeah, but like yeah, there was a.
That didn't happen. It almost did, but no, not yet.
Who knows? This might be just a simulation. We're not real cells.
What is it? Wow, surprising.
Yeah. But strangely enough, there is sign of life in Las Vegas. Beautiful, so you all know. This whole desert storm, sandstorm covered Las Vegas was so good, like so nice to look at.
Yeah, and again, the visuals are excellent, and you meet Deckard.
Rick Deckard.
Yeah, sorry, Rick Deckard. And like again, if this was made by anyone else, I feel like we would get him like in the first 10 minutes. But they make their own world, make their own story, and then they bring in, I know that guy.
Yeah,
That's how in Doctor Sleep, you're like, we're setting up who the world, what the world is, and then we can go back to the hotel.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. Like they pretty much made their own movie. Like Blade Runner is not like Blade Runner 2. No, Blade Runner 2049 is Blade Runner 2049. It's a standalone movie. Sure, there are occurring characters, but this is K's movie.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Or so we believe.
But yeah, I do like the quick brawl they have in the Elvis room. You see the picture of Harrison Ford accidentally really hitting Ryan Gosling.
Oh God, you really did. But I love it though. Like Harrison Ford pretty much booby trapped all of Los Angeles, all of Las Vegas, and like he has his own bee farm. He has a mountain of like future Jack Daniel bottles,
Yeah. Like,
and
how bad is
oh,
the future
God.
that the bees are going extinct too?
very,
Very.
very dude. There is barely signs of like animal life.
Like the fact that there's no more flowers, trees, like the
Mhm.
fact that this is probably the last colony Earth will ever see. Says,
Yeah.
oh, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I love this scene though, like where Harrison Ford is pretty much like going toe to toe with Ryan Gosling, is just punching him repeatedly. But I was like, Rick Deckard wasn't like this in the old movie. He wasn't like this capable of fighting an android. What the hell?
I guess it's the age, it's the crankiness. Of
I guess though, he was like ready to die.
Yeah.
He wasn't afraid anymore.
Yeah. And then they hear is it him the song? One of the Elvis songs. He's like, I like the song. We can keep at this, or we can get a drink.
Yeah. And Ryan Gosling like grabs Deckard's gun, like, I would like that. I would like that drink. And yeah, and they sit down, and Kay starts to dissect Deckard, and it's such a surreal thing because I love seeing Deckard here. Like just seeing Harrison Ford have this grisly old voice when he was so young and spry in 2019. Like it's just so odd to see.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, he's asking questions like, "Why did you abandon the child? Why did you leave?" And Deckard's explanation is that, like, at some points, if you love somebody, you have to be a stranger. Because if I was there, we would have been hunted down. This kid would have been running for his entire life.
And be dissected and experimented on.
Exactly. Not maybe psychologically, but in many other ways. And you see Kay's just heartbroken. Why'd you leave me?
Yeah.
And why'd you leave mom when, and he's asking about it. It's like, what was she like? And these are legit human emotions now. This is Ryan Gosling, like, kicking out the, I'm not an android anymore. I'm starting to think for myself. And as they have these drinks, he gets too personal, and Deckard's like, just walks away. And at the same time, Deckard doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't know that Kay is assuming that he is the child. And is tad bit heartbroken knowing the fact that he was a little bit of, like, he was abandoned as an orphan.
He's like, man, you're such a feeler.
Yeah. Hey man, if somebody's going to put fake memories into me, I would feel it. I would
That's
feel
true.
the weight of it.
That's true. But they are ambushed by the Wallace Company.
Yeah, because Love went into Lieutenant Joshi's office and pretty much dispatches Lieutenant Joshi. That was a hard scene to watch, where she had the glass and she was drinking her like whiskey, and she just crushes the glass in her hand. I was like, oh, I forgot Lieutenant Joshi's human
And then she
and vulnerable. Yeah.
And when she's already dead, she uses her corpse to like do an eye scan.
Yeah, and then just drops her and like and bangs her head on the desk.
Well, she wasn't dead already. She definitely is now.
Like, yeah,
I like the fact that Rick Deckard just leaves Kay to like he just locks the door and starts running towards his car, and then Kay just bursts through the wall.
yeah, just burst through the. Yeah, and then like you see the missile going straight into. I thought that was the Peugeot spaceship.
Same
Like
here.
good on you, Peugeot, for lasting so long into 2049 and making hovercrafts. Um, but like yeah, like immediately Peugeot gets shot down. They're stuck. They get ambushed, and this was the hardest scene to watch because for sure the explosion knocked the wind out of both of them, and they take Deckard away. But you see Ryan Gosling finally getting up and does his John Wick thing, but Love is there. Love is the more advanced robot, more capable.
I just them kicks. Like, fuck. All right.
Yeah. I mean, Kay has been through shit, so I'm pretty sure he's just tired.
Yeah. But you see those axe kicks, you're like, ooh, damn.
Yeah, in heels.
Yeah.
So that's like extra damage. That's extra bleed.
Oh, bad dog. And she notices that the contraption where Joyce is out. And like Joyce's like, wait, stop. And he's like,
Yeah.
oh.
I hope you enjoyed our product. And Joy like squeezes out the last "I love you" before the device gets stomped out.
Yeah.
I was like, I love Ryan Gosling's face when it comes to just, damn it. You know, we all have those faces of like, we were so close to fixing it or so close to protecting something, yet we failed. And you're like, he has that really good face of
Yeah.
like, quiet, like, frustration. It's like, and hopelessness in his eyes. I was like, sure, say what you will. His face is kind of static. But it works so well here. But yeah, they take Deckard away, they bring him to Wallace because that is the surrogate father of this miracle child, and I'm guessing Wallace kind of wanted them to make more
Yeah.
because he brings out Rachel, or a copy of Rachel.
Yeah. And like he think he's gonna fall for it, but he's like, her eyes were green. Love just shoots her in the head, and of course Rick can't look at that. Like, nope, I'm still not watching that.
Yeah, and
And,
I love the entire dialogue with him and Jared Leto, where he's just trying to convince him. I was like, hey, why not make more babies? Advanced human race. Oh, sorry, advance our race to go across the stars, as you said. Like, kids can count up to 9. We could explore more.
yeah.
And yeah, and it was a little bit of a heartbreaking scene, seeing like, oh, CGI was amazing. There was,
like I question.
Yeah.
Like, where do you get to the aging technology, man?
yeah, like I'm guessing. What was the name of the director of this?
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve came from 2049 and brought it back here. But like seeing this, there was no uncanny valley. It was like, oh my god, that's Rachel.
Yeah.
And I love that entire scene where she was like, "You don't love me anymore." He goes, "Her eyes were green."
Yeah.
Walks away. Yeah, as you said, she gets executed. And
And Wallace is like,
he,
I'm gonna take you off world, and I'm gonna make you suffer so much pain that you talk.
yeah, and they want to know where the child is. There's an entire movie is just hunt for this kid,
Yeah.
big hunt for baby Jesus, and Kay gets taken away by this rebel forces, and we're like pretty much telling them that, hey, you gotta save, you gotta save Deckard, so we know where the kid is, or where the.
I don't take him out because he can't compromise us. Can't compromise.
Oh, right. My bad. Yeah, you can't compromise the kid. You gotta take him out. Do what you're meant to do.
And
And-
the second gut punch to Kay because she talks about a daughter and the future for the androids, and he's like,
She? Yeah, he goes, she?
Yeah.
It was like, and because the android that he's talking to, the pretty much rebel leader, was the person who took care of the baby when it was conceived after the mother died. So she knows what gender it is.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you poor thing. You thought it was you. And it was like, yeah. And you see the dread in like Kay's face where he's like, I'm not the main character. I lost everything at the sacrifice that I might be Jesus Christ, but for androids, but I'm not. It is a girl, and yeah, and we go back to the scene where he's going through the files of like the genetic DNA and shit, and he found out like there's one that's a fake, and he discards that one, and he matches the other two. The one that he discards is him. Which was so heartbreaking. I was like, damn.
And then, like, later he's on a rooftop and he sees a holograph of another Joy. And she says, you look like more than an average Joe. And that's what she calls him. I'm like, oh! She's just saying these things because she's programmed.
Yeah, like, was it actual love?
Yeah.
But there is a question of, like, if Kay is has the feelings of love, wouldn't Joy be able to do as well? Sure, she's missing the physical form, but she is still made up of ones and zeros, so that, like, she is still AI. Like, she might have been, but at the same time, Kay's kind of like, was her love real?
Yeah.
Or was it programmed? And Kay pretty much, like, through the rage, ventures off and starts taking down all the other ships.
Yeah.
That's carrying Deckard and the convoy. And I love this scene where they're like at the wall that's pretty much a barrier from the reef, or sorry, the incoming waves or high tides.
How fucked up is the world now that the waves are really high?
Yeah, like Santa Monica Beach is not there anymore. But like this was a cool fight sequence compared to the first one, in my
I
opinion.
mean, obviously, they have more technology. You're
All
not
right.
wrong, you're not wrong. It is visually pleasing, especially seeing it on fire and crashing into the water. Like, damn, it's pretty.
Yeah, and you see Deckard like handcuffed towards the chair, and water's just coming into his face. And Love is pretty much doing a one-on-one battle with Kay.
Yeah.
This was so good. Kay's already mortally wounded.
Yeah, he gets shot, and then she stabs him.
Yeah, he gets shot. He had like a piece of like building or like a piece of metal sticking out of him a while ago, and then he gets shot again in the other abdomen. We only have one abdomen.
And then he gets stabbed, and it's the exact same abdomen, like in the side.
Yeah.
It's like, is this how this food's gonna end? Like, how is
Yeah.
Deckard gonna get out of this?
Yeah, like he's drowning and like she does another axe kick to the head that knocks out Kay for a little bit. And she works her way up to Deckard. She's like, we're bringing you off world. You ready? Just like a scene in Jaws, she gets dragged down underwater.
No, she gets lifted up first and he gets strangled, and he brings
Oh,
her down.
no. Like, if you see, like, she's like talking to Deckard and she immediately gets like, taken down underwater, and then she gets choked up to the ceiling of the car.
Yeah, like, you know what? This isn't working. Water will do.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was like, wait a minute. You don't need air. How about I waterlog you instead? But yeah, this was a cool scene. Like, there's not a lot of like choreography or like flashy moves. No, this man is pretty much just drowning a bitch.
Yeah.
And she does say, like, oh, I liked you. She does confirm that, like, I did have sexual attractions to you.
Cool.
Oh, well, drown.
Like, it took joy away from me. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. And you gotta love that scene. It was so hard to watch, but at the same time, like,
Satisfying.
yeah. He frees Deckard from his shackles after drowning the bitch, and they work their way. They work their way to,
The lab.
lo and behold, the lab.
Yeah, and he's like, they'll hunt me down. He's like, no, as far as they're concerned, Rick Deckard died in the water.
Yeah, like, you're dead.
Yeah.
That's all we know. and they get to the facility, and Deckard's like, "Why are you doing this? Like, it's not you. Why are you still doing this?" And he's just like, he has no explanation. No, I'm not the main character. This entire story was about the girl who was the VFX artist for Fake Memories. That we find out that like she's the actual daughter, and it is a heartbreaking scene. A lot of parts in this movie is very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Again, it questions your humanity. Like this guy is willing to sacrifice everything for something that does not matter to him. A lot of these things should have not mattered to him, but somebody had to pull him into it.
Yeah. And it's literally the final nail in his coffin because he dies on those steps.
Yeah, and it's still like a greater good for his kind.
Yeah.
Like he is working towards a greater good, but it should have not mattered to him. But yet he still pushed through, saved Deckard, and brought him to his kid and finished the mission. And what do they do to thank him? They leave him out on the steps in the snow to bleed out.
And it is touching to see, like, Deckard puts his hand in the glass and the daughter approaches, and you don't hear what they say, but you can only imagine. And
Yeah.
Cut to black. Directed by Denis Villeneuve. Like, oh, okay.
Just like in the first one, where it was kind of like open-ended.
Yeah. And in the proud Blade Runner tradition, this was a bomb. Sorry to say. So I think this came out like a week.
Even though in IMDb it came out at like 8 out of 10. That's not my score for it, but like it came out 8 out of 10 for IMDb.
I think it came out like a week before Ragnarok, which was like, what are you doing?
I think it's just timing.
It's
it
like-
really is timing.
Like, it was this, and then the week after was Ragnarok, and the week after that was Justice League, so it's like, hey, comic book movies are really hot right now, but here's this cool sci-fi movie.
Yeah, like a lot of the times people who were born in the 80s don't really care for a sci-fi movie that bombed in the 80s,
Yeah.
but we do. Yeah. So we pretty much reached the end of this very sad film. What would you rate it?
Like the first one, I don't really go back to watch it. Like, I have to be in a certain mood. But like, for fuck's sake, this is 2 hours and 43 minutes. So I'm like, oh, I need 3 hours of spare time. I either watch it in parts or like I just sit down and enjoy this movie. And this is a really good movie. Again, going from Ridley Scott to Denis Villeneuve, like, of course this makes sense because they are two visionary directors. And like, only Denis Villeneuve, I believe, could carry this movie. Going from one visionary to the other. So all that being said, the cast is good, acting is great. Aesthetic again is like, holy fuck, I can't take my eyes off this again. So again, 9 out of 10, an excellent movie.
God, as you said, amazing cast. The storytelling was, I would say, near perfection. Like, I will say though, it is 2 hours
Yeah.
and 43 minutes, nearing the 3 hour mark. It is long, and it does drag. As tradition, as people say, shit paced. But for me, for my opinion, they do the exact same thing where you get sucked into the environment. You want to be there. You want to touch it. You want to walk through these streets, hopefully with a gun. But like it is such a spectacle to see, and they do the exact same thing, but with bigger monuments, with bigger buildings, with gigantic environments. And now they're expanding through other cities like San Francisco or San Diego?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Las Vegas, and we get to see those cities instead of just strictly Los Angeles. And the philosophy in it, you could go into Wisecrack or Looper and watch a 10-minute video of explaining the philosophy of these movies, and you kind of want more. This is the beauty of Blade Runner, and this is why I love Blade Runner. Like, it makes you think right after the movie, but the thing is, you kind of have to watch multiple sittings to get everything from the movie, and then your mind just expands on it. I love this movie. I really do. Is it for everybody? No. I have spoken to a couple of people, and there's nothing wrong with having different opinions. If you don't like the movie, it's too long, it's too boring, nothing really happens. I get it. I get why you say that. It's more of a dialogue movie.
Yeah.
But gotta give it this. It's written so beautifully, shot so beautifully. But it's still not for everybody.
Yeah.
But I love it. Personally, I love the Blade Runner universe, and I really hope they expand on it. Hopefully, a series, please.
There is
I want to
series
see.
coming. Coming out 2024, I think. By Ridley Scott.
Thank you, God. Thank you, God. There is a God. And yeah, it is a beautiful film, and it is so close to my heart because I don't know it. Blade Runner hit a soft spot in my heart that I'm like, you're gonna be staying there. People hate you, but I love you. And yeah, for me, it's a 9.5 out of 10. I can't give it a 10 because again,
You have to be
like
in the movie.
yeah, you have to be in the mood. You can't be like, oh, it's on HBO and be like, does HBO still exist?
I mean, as a streaming service, yes.
It is a dark future. HBO doesn't exist.
Uh,
We do live in the Blade Runner universe. No. But yeah, if it's on TV and you're eating with family, it's not really the best thing to watch. It's like you have to be in a mood of absorbing philosophical ideas and messages and looking into a scene. Like, yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Nearing perfect. Nearing
and
perfect.
in 2017, out of 3 sci-fi movies, this one's at the top. It's like this, War for the Planet of the Apes, and last is Last Jedi.
Damn, and the good one bombed.
Oh, hey, War of the Planet of the Apes is excellent.
Oh yeah, War of the Planet of the Apes was amazing. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
But you know,
I mean,
Last Jedi-
obviously, Star Wars makes $1 billion everywhere it goes, so that's a given.
and I really hope Blade Runner does. Please, the series, do well.
Uh,
But yeah, how about you guys? What do you think about the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Are you guys excited for the series that's coming out in 24? You probably might have androids by then. I don't know.
there's also comics if you want to check them out.
Sure. Why not? Why not? And hey, if you want to know what the blackout was, please check out the 15-minute video on YouTube called Blade Runner Blackout. It is actually a really good watch, and it explains a lot of what happened in this period of time, what stopped the world in the Blade Runner universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find us at facebook.com/geeksanddegenerates. You can also find us on Discord under the same name. And if you don't like seeing our faces, we also have a Spotify. And you can find me individually on Instagram at JomGeom on his messed up my own plugin. It is my own account. Cells. How about you, man? Where can you find you, Cells?
On IG at Yandavos995, same with Twitter, Cells. And be sure to like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next.
Cells.
Cells.
Please do stay safe, wear a mask and social distance, get vaccinated, and get a booster for fuck's sake, Cells. And we'll see you all next time. Cells. Ciao, Cells.
Bye, Cells.